Hey guys, so this is my recap of the day. It's been a good day. I'll be showing you a little clip on the map later, showing you where I actually rode today. And I did a big day. I did about 7 hours on the bike, I think, which is a lot, but it was wonderful. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about it. I'll have some clips that I'll interject into this, ones I took today as I was riding along. But I want to share some observations on the ride down today and on my latest thinking, if you wish, on Morocco. So the first is there's clearly sort of two Moroccos, and you see this Morocco that is really developing, or developed actually. There's parts that really are developed. So you see electric trains and high-speed trains, you see beautiful roads, you see some big expensive cars, you see some lovely houses. And then you see the other end of the spectrum. You see the poverty in the villages. Some of the towns, I'll talk about in a minute, some of the towns I went through were absolutely filthy. And really unattractive. I mean, rubbish in the middle of the street, just piles of rubbish everywhere. And sort of reminded me of other parts of Africa when I used to live in Africa. I just hope the wind now isn't too noisy on this and that you can hear me okay. You see, when you're out in the countryside, you see a lot of manual labour. And for example, I saw somebody today cutting with a scythe and another guy with a sickle. And everywhere you go, you see women working in the fields, and women tending goats and tending sheep and tending kitchen gardens, but big kitchen gardens, I mean acres of kitchen garden. And so the women work a lot. And you see, for example, the bales of hay are all small. They use they're not producing these big bales of hay with big machinery. Now, obviously they're harvesting the wheat and whatever with combine harvesters, but they're not actually baling in big bales. They're baling in small bales, and the reason is that at least they're manhandling it. They manhandle everything. A huge amount is done, as I say, with labour, just physical labour, and the donkey. The donkey is ubiquitous. Everywhere you go, you see the donkey. It is genuinely the beast of burden, and I see people riding them, pulling things with them, loaded up with sacks on either side of them, thousands of them everywhere, all over Morocco. You see wells. So, for example, you come to a village and it's clear there's no running water. I assume there's no sewage, and they go to the well and they drop a bucket down. They pull the bucket up with the road and they fill their drums. Some places actually the well is clearly a borehole, and it comes up to a nice presentation piece with big taps on it, and they fill up their buckets, or they fill up these barrels, blue barrels, and they have them on a metal frame and they pull them behind the donkeys. Now, I talk about all of that simply to make the point that Tunisia is in one way sort of booming, and it's full of young people. It is, some parts are very, very developed, and some parts are really, really undeveloped. And I think it's going to be really interesting. I don't know what their education system is like here, but if the education system is good, if all the people my age and from the 40s upwards are finished, there's no hope for them. I mean, they're not productive. They're there cutting with the scythe. There's no productivity. But their children, if they're educated and well educated, they will be the future, because there'll be no future for this. If you saw the fields, and again I'll show you a clip of the wheat fields in a minute. If you saw the size of the fields, if you saw the size of the agriculture here, I thought it was big in Spain, but the tillage here, the wheat, is, I rode for about 100 miles, and you could see probably 50 miles in each direction, going up and down these hills. And as far as the eye could see, in every direction, were huge fields of wheat. Really, really enormous. I thought it was big in Spain, as I say in the video clip, but it's even bigger down in Tunisia.
soccer team.
A couple of interesting things. They use these little tuk-tuks. It's like a motorbike with a thing for carrying people or carrying goods on the back. Like really smart. I'm sure they're very fuel efficient and very accessible. They can get in and out of places. Let me talk about the towns for a moment. So I was in 3 towns today. Fez was probably the worst of them, but I was in 3 towns today. Arousa was the last one I was in, and the towns really are unattractive. Now, Chefchaouen was sort of interesting because the Blue City is sort of attractive, but it's very touristy. It's attractive because it's all focused on the tourist. But once you get out of that and you get into the ordinary country towns, or even big towns, or into the small villages, they're really not nice. Like really, really not nice. And they're building at a furious rate, but really unattractive construction, just big blocks. Yeah, so I think they're going to have challenges here. Clearly, it comes down to the society and the people's own standards. I mean, for example, you'll remember in Ireland, the plastic bags everywhere hanging out of the bushes, and then they started pricing the plastic bags, and all of a sudden the plastic bags vanished. There's something we're going to have to do here. I mean, the country is littered. The whole countryside is littered, and around the towns is littered, literally piles and piles of rubbish, but plastic bags everywhere. So this is clearly, I mean, they could take a leaf out of our book in Ireland and just put a price on the plastic bag. If it costs a few cents, all of a sudden they stop using them, and then pay them by the kilo to collect it and bring it back in and put it into landfills. So anyway, interesting observations on the driving. For those of you who are interested in driving, so those of you interested in motorbikes, the roundabouts can be dodgy sometimes. I did a little skid on one of them. So I was coming out of a town where there was a lot of big heavy trucks. Obviously it was a big industrial town, and I see diesel spillages or oil spillages, or maybe just tires. So I had a little bit of a twirl on it, and that was fine. I didn't come off or anything, but just a bit dodgy. So I'm very careful on when I look at a roundabout and I see it's sort of dark. I'm very, very careful on it. The driving style here is very fluid, and any of you who know me will know that probably suits me very well, because I have a pretty fluid driving style myself. But boy, it's very fluid here, and but it's easy, it's nice, it's easy. The thing is that people pull out in front of you. It's up to you. If you're coming from behind, you're responsible. That's like the broad view. So people just pull out of a lane, pull into another lane, and they expect you behind to be paying attention. They're not looking in the mirror. It's not they don't indicate, although they don't often. I mean, it's sort of a mixed bag whether they indicate or not. But it's just very, very fluid. So that's sort of that. You'll have noticed, again, I'll pop in the video clip. This was my first day I actually had a breakfast, so I stopped off. This is my second time of having their tea with mint in it. I stopped off in a place to stop out of the heat, and I had mint tea, a bottle of water, and 2 pain au chocolat. Now they weren't nice pain au chocolat. They were rough and ready, but it sort of reminded me of France. So I was speaking French, I was eating pain au chocolat, and I was drinking mint tea. So it was almost there. It was sort of good. My impression so far of Morocco, let me share it like in summary what my thoughts are after. Now, remember this after 2 days. Okay, I think this is the country of the future. A really, really interesting country. Everybody's hustling. Everybody's trying to make a buck. The country itself is vast. Vast. The agriculture here could be potentially enormous. Tourism here is very substantial. So I can see this, and very young population. So I think this is going to be a country of the future. As I said earlier, I'm not sure where the financing is coming from, where the money is coming from for the development of the country, but I have a really good feeling about this country. The countryside itself is beautiful. Now, this is a beautiful place to ride a motorbike. Absolutely beautiful. The towns are pretty awful. And if I was advising anybody to come here, I would say, come for what I've come from. Come to see the beautiful scenery, the beautiful countryside, to meet the people. Don't come to visit tourist resorts. I'm sure if you're paying a few £100 a night or a couple £100 a night, staying in a really nice hotel and all this, and walking through the old parts of these cities, it's all very lovely. But if you're riding up the back roads like I am, and seeing the way the people live, and seeing it as it really is, it's pretty grim. Life is tough here unless you have a few quid. This is not a place to be poor, and there are a lot of poor people here. Having said that, the people appear to me to be very happy. They're very polite. Last comment, I came off the bike. So I missed the turn up for this place, and I went up the road a bit further. I saw a bit of a wide spot in the road. I tried to turn the bike, and of course the front wheel went into just loose gravel. Not even gravel. Gravel's actually okay because it's got an edge to it, and you can the tire would get some purchase. I went into loose pebbles, just round pebbles, and of course the front wheel went to me, and down went the bike. So I actually took off all the luggage except one pannier, the one that the bike was lying on, and I was able to lift the bike. So I lifted the bike. Now there's a lot of smoke coming out of the exhaust after I rolled back up here. I'm only hoping, I saw petrol actually leaking out of the tank, so I'm not sure what's going on, and I'm just hoping that it's just got some oil or something got into the engine and it's going to burn off, and that tomorrow I'm not going to have a problem. Okay guys, I'm here at my accommodation for the night, having a cup of mint tea and some melon to keep me going till dinner time. And I'm going to show you where I went today and where I'm going to go tomorrow. So you can see here, yesterday I went and I stayed in Shifshewan, and today I rode down this road here. So I'm just going to show you here, down this road here, right down here, along here, over to Fez. And then I drove down here, down to here, Arus, which is not an attractive place either. And then I'm staying out here in a small little cottage, sort of B&B type arrangement, which is really, really nice. And just to give you an idea of my view, you can see here what I'm looking out at. Beautiful Sylvan setting, beautiful countryside. Very, very pretty. Like very, very pretty. Now tomorrow, my plan is to ride down this road, right down here to Midelt, and then down this road here through the first part of the Atlas Mountains, down here to Arashidia, and then I may continue along here as far as these gorges, the tundra, and then these gorges. I'm not sure. We'll see how I feel. That's the first leg. There is from here down is about 100 kilometers. It says 124, but that was from Fez, so it's probably less. It's probably about 70 or 80 kilometers, 70 kilometers I'd say. And then from Midland down to here is about 137. That's about 200 kilometers. So I think I'll probably quite easy to do this. 136 kilometers along to these gorges. So I'll probably quite easy to do that. So that's sort of it. You see lots of little clips. I'll stick in lots of little clips. I'll have stuck in when I edit this. I'll stick in some photos of the things I saw along the way, and that's sort of it. So hopefully, he tells me he's got good broadband here, good Wi-Fi. We'll see in a few minutes. I've been uploading using my phone on my 60 gigabyte deal I got from the lads. So I reckon at this rate, I reckon it would last me about 10 days uploading. I'm uploading about 6 gig, maybe yeah, about 6 gig a day. So we'll see how it goes. So that's sort of it, guys. I'm having a great time. I'm really happy to be here. It's funny, I was lying in bed this morning and asked myself the question, why am I here? What am I trying to accomplish? Do I really want to be here? Is this really what I want to do? And that's what sort of, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm here because I want to see the country. I want to meet the people. I want to tour on my motorbike. And yeah, this is where I should be, and I'm happy to be doing it. So that's it. I hope we get this uploaded the next day or so, and I'll talk to you in another day or two. Cheers, guys.